So we have major warnings from Bank of America. Cue the fire. They are telling the Fed, you need to stop. Otherwise, this whole system goes down. Now, Bank of America has not been the first one to signal the disaster. We've had Credit Suisse. We've had over on the other side of the pond, England, everything is starting to go. And the Fed's like, nope, no bubble, holding this under the water. Nope, no bubbles yet. Cracks continue to multiply. Bank of America warns. Fed. Okay? Jerome, listen to what Bank of America has to say. You need to slow down now or risk breaking the corporate bond market, which happens to be 3 to 5 times bigger than the stock market. Are you sure you want to do that? Based on my due diligence and research, I think the answer is yes. Looking at some of these, the hidden agenda, the bills that have been signed into law with no one even looking at them. Oh, pop the confetti. This might be the big one. This is what they've been wanting to usher in for a very long time. A lot of people criticizing the Fed, which we'll go into that. Michael Burry, that's a critic right there. The Fed is so afraid of being the Fed of the 1970s that they are becoming the Fed of the 1930s. Well, what is that, you ask? Not good. Many people, which is it's gonna dovetail. So watch this. Many people criticize the Fed for its response to the Great Depression. How was the Fed's response to the 2007 and 2009 financial crisis different? Well, it was a hell of a lot different. But what happened in the Depression is what is happening now. In the 1930s, the Fed, more or less, let the banking system what? Collapse. Allowed the money supply to collapse and allow the price level to fall. Hey, how about that? Let's start to put the pieces. Oh, you like? Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's put the pieces together. Imagine if the Fed allowed the banking system to collapse. I mean, what would solve that? Oh, I know. How about Oh, you subscribe? Thank you. Robert, Jim Rickards. So I'm putting a lot of people that I'm sure you've heard of before. Robert is saying Jim Rickards, I guess he made a little announcement. He said Jim Rickards made his most important announcement today. And this is like the doom and gloom guy of since childhood. So if we were to take this statement and say, most important announcement, I'm going to listen. It's about the most treasonous act in U.S. history. Did you hear about that? Was that put on the news? The most treasonous act? I don't think so. I don't think anyone covered it except, oh, hi, Johnny Bravo. What are we doing today? In U.S. history, Biden's executive order 1406, and I'll stop there just in case, it's communism. Hey, are we just skipping right over socialism? I was really liking that. In its purest form, the creation of what? CBDC. I've been preaching this up and down for the last 2 years. I said they're going to do it. They're doing it. And I honestly think that this whole CBDC thing isn't getting any coverage, and I think there's a reason why. I mean, this is like the biggest thing ever, and everyone's like, but we're already digital. No. This is like a completely different framework, kind of like what happened in 1971. And look at the article, New York Times. Nixon orders 90-day wage price freeze. No, right? Oh my gosh. Tax cuts, new job, right? The broader plan. And and by the way, we severed the link between gold and the dollar, and basically defaulting because we couldn't meet. Everyone's like, okay, we want our gold back. Here's your dollar. And we said, no, we're not doing it anymore. Sorry about that. We're keeping the gold. And from that point on, the purchasing power of your dollar in the last 50 plus years has gone to zero. Now we have these boom bust cycles that I'm sure you're enjoying, but this bust, well, it's going to compete with the Great Depression. So if I have to throw salami at the wall and take a guess at this one, it's hold us underwater till the bubbles stop. Because things are going to collapse. As if, losing what? How much you lose in crypto? 80%. Crypto gone. Housing market gone. Stock market gone. Oh, but bravo, it's not that bad. I've only lost 90% on my shares of XYZ. We still have 10% to go, and you said this was going to crash. My thought is, we got months away, okay? It's going to get, the other shoes are all going to drop. And then they're going to come in with the solution. CBDC. Oh, and by the way, that Bitcoin thing, that's illegal. Can't use that. Drug dealers use that. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with how the whole market system works, from the bond market to the dollar to crypto, what they have in place is completely different than Bitcoin. It's completely different than printing a dollar. No, they're not going to get rid of right now your paper money, but they're basically doing away with everything else. And then they will have complete control over everything you do. They're going to create their own little ledger system that they can deposit right into your new system. And it's like, oh, hey, I can use this to buy things. That's great. Well, that is until they tell you can't use it on, oh, you wanted to fill up your car with gas. That's a bad thing. Because as you know, all vehicles have to be electric. And maybe if you have that Tesla that's exploding all over the place. How about Rivian recalls nearly all vehicles due to loss of steering? Well, at least they're just not randomly blowing up. I mean, even looking at this executive order, like news, there was like no news on this. Statement, Janet Yellen, U.S. they comment, crypto. I mean, these are like brownstone research. What is it? What's it mean for USA? Fact check. Thank you for that. Fact check. Biden's executive order will evaluate. That's all they're doing. Concept of a digital current. Not launching it. They haven't launched it yet, even though they have an exact date on when they're going to launch it. Okay? There's other fact checks like, it's not going to do away with the dollar, the currency that's out there. Yes, it will, but not right away. You don't want to boil the frog. You got to turn up the water just slowly. No one wants that the frog jumping out right away. All the CEOs, the major banks, Jamie Dimon, they're all saying you need to stop. Not just pivot, like completely stop what you're doing. The world needs dollars. Who's going to make them? Hi, that would be us. You starve the world, and the whole thing goes kaplooey. And we are only a few months into this, and look at what has happened. Just a few months, right? Right, like the bond market, the Fed's balance sheet just started to roll off. Nothing too big here, and everything's gone. In latest recession signal. Oh, we're in a recession? You sure? Can we call it yet? Or we need 12 quarters. Money, so here it is. And there needs to be pristine collateral in the world, and they've restricted it. You can't do that. You had one job, America, just make money. We'll provide the junk like this that you want to buy, but just make sure there's money to be used. Money supply growth plummeted to what? 3-year low in August. And you can go back to even though if you're like confused, just go back every single time the Fed tightens. Everything, all the wheels on the truck completely fall off. I'm not even talking about the struggle bus. This is the struggle bus with no wheels on it, okay? And you're actually pulling it behind you. And if you're wondering why there is a demand, you're like, wow, why is the dollar? I thought the dollar was going to zero. Okay, it is completely 100% supply and demand. And yes, other currencies around the world are burning like crazy too. We just happen to be the one restricting. And in 1944, watch my video a couple days ago, I actually went to Bretton Woods. I showed you where they signed it. They said, we're going to use this now instead of gold. That's so antiquated. We're going to use the dollars. But fortunately, the dollars are backed by gold, so we are good to go. So the entire world is on a dollar system. And then we decide to cut off the supply. And the last time we cut off supply, one time, and then everything fell apart. And then the time before that was the 08 disaster, right? Cutting off that supply, nothing to see here. And the whole world collapses. Now, I think what's going to happen this time is they're going to keep us under the water, right? And you're not going to be able to resuscitate. Once the bubbles, it's over. They're like, we'll keep this under for another 10 minutes. Oh, but wait, there's a solution. We got the CBDC. Yeah, we're good. Just here, open up your wallet. And I do have to question over 400 PhDs, economists at the Fed. Do they even know what they're doing? Because I can sit back and I figured this all out and I go, oh my gosh, you're going to destroy the world. And then I think, oh, why would you want to destroy the world? Oh, so you can bring forth something bigger. I don't even think they know about this thing bigger that whoever is in control of destroying it. I mean, it was bad in '08. It was worse in the Great Depression. And I think we might even be going there. And what does it mean? Just a stupid YouTuber just trying to put the pieces together. The market expects another 3/4 point interest hike in November. Then what? Just keep going. Just go until, again, the bubbles stop. And this one, B of A is warning. And then this one, Michael Burry is warning. Who else? Anyone else? The Fed was warning about what the Fed did last time, right? Destroyed the banking system. Robert, same thing. I could go down the road, down the rabbit hole, which actually Jim Rickards, he did a piece. It's about a week old. It's September, a couple weeks old. How far could stocks fall? I'm not even worried about, that's not even my focus right now, Jim. Oh, very far. But this was different causes, same outcome. One job. Okay, great. Here we go. The end game. Now this is the question. What is the Fed's target exactly? Well, I can tell you, bring down inflation to 2%. You do that, it's game over. But that's what they say they're going to do. They're going to hold us underwater until 2%. And I think, and I could be wrong, but it all points right back to control you and money. You're thinking the government doesn't want to control me or the money. I think this is all tinfoil hat. No, this is their whole act, you guys. And this was, do you remember the control a couple of years ago when they said, stay inside your house, just 2 weeks. It's okay. You can come out after 2 weeks, then it just goes away. Oh, and here's $10 trillion. Now, shut up. Just do as you're told. And they actually had the CBDC ready to go. You're like, no way. That's 2019. There's no way. 2020. Look, 2019 to 2020. Here, they had it all. This was the bill. Didn't go over too well. S3571 to require member banks. They were trying to push it in when? March 2020. They had it all ready to go. And it was called the Banking for All Act right here. And they said it's short title. Yeah, Banking for All Act. That'll work. Digital dollars. But we already use digital dollars. But it's going to be a different dollar this time. I know they say it's different this time. This time it's different this time. And here, I love this. So sorry about the stock market on Friday. Whoo-hoo, but you just started. And also it drives me crazy when I get those comments, right? You said the stock market was going to crash. It only went down 4% today. And I swear, you guys, some of you guys are like, you're going to go out there and see free homes. Just take it. Like, that's what you need. You can't be down 85%, over time. It needs to be like, wham, one time. Our currency, check this one out. Our currency is your problem. See, I love it. This is like perfect. It's your problem. Well, you shouldn't have taken out that dollar-denominated debt. You shouldn't have said that we should be the world's reserve currency, as we are limiting the supply of the stuff that people need to trade. Jerome could say forever. Oh, nope. Our target's 2%. We're just, sorry about, other people in other countries that are deciding, the price of oil. We have to wait till it comes down. How is it setting that the short end, where banks have to lend to one another, how does that even affect whether or not Germany is buying oil from Russia and France? Anyways, our currency, your problem, the dollar surge, again, why? Supply and demand, to a 20-year high is causing headaches around the world. Here we go, Goldman. Also, if you are interested in how to solve this by making money from it, at least it feels better, right? When the world's burning, you're like, oh, you want some more fire logs? Fire logs for sale. Oh, I also brought my wife along. Pitchforks. She has the pitchforks. You want to light them? That's $20. It's going to be pitchforks and fire logs. And you take all of that money, you convert it to gold, and we'll all run to an island together and be like, okay, we're safe. Also, for some of you, email me or the comments like, what do we do? Where do we move our money? I don't know, man, because I can tell you, throw it into Bitcoin at 19K and you're safe. You're going to have Bitcoin. I just can't tell you at what price. And I've told you on this channel, I start nibbling, right? Definitely the 12K. Anything under, like right now, if you want to nibble, go ahead and nibble. But it could drop down to 3,000. I mean, come on, think about it. 3,800 during the last, right? Tightening. Well, I'll just move it all into gold. Gold draw, everything. Well, that is when, until they solve it with you'll own nothing and you'll rent from us and just use our CBDC. However, they're bringing this all out and everyone will be like little, sheeple just going right off the cliff or lemmings. I'm just helping you sell parachutes, right, to us and our friends. Okay, so UUP, I'll go over a few of them for you just to kind of recap. And I've said swing trade the dollar, not financial advice. This is all paper trading. Above that, this is on the weekly. The W. Definitely that's the 200 weekly. I know it was the daily, the 200 daily moving average. I like to kind of combo that in a bear market. Also, if you want to learn how to trade in a bear market, link in the description for my brand new course. It's only about, a week and a half old? I'm trying to put out one video a day on how to trade a bear market to make money going down. This, you're making money going up. This is the dollar. Let me turn on the daily. See that? There's the daily line. There's the weekly line. On the weekly, you'd swing trade right on top, just anywhere. You want the 200 week, you want the 200 daily. And actually so there's the weekly at 26. You're really not going to find much changes on that weekly moving average, right? You will on the daily. So this is on the daily, on the dollar. If you were to have started to swing trade, that one had a big beat down. You come in right there on that double bottom, you ride it to the moon, which, believe it or not, the money in your savings account, you moved 24% ever since that double bottom. If you were swing trading this. Also, if you're new, start with the swing trading course and then move into the bear market course. I really do, though, try to bring you from beginner to advanced in the bear market course. You might get away with it. I mean, just those two lines on so many different, everything could save you from losing a lot of money or help you to make a lot of money. So I moved that on the weekly. Let's go over a few things. Let's go SPY, or let's go SPX. Here is the SPY, and we are currently bouncing right on the 200 weekly, which I said it would. It would do that. It's going to bounce, and then right there should be the end, but maybe it won't be. And if you're an investor, this is where you start investing. Down, 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 down. Now, how far down? I don't know. I mean, the Fed could just keep us underwater forever until the whole system resets. Then I don't know. I'm just playing the cards that I'm dealt. Or should I say the last bear market? It was the last 19 bear markets. If we repeat this cycle, 289 days, 37%, we're halfway there. And I really want to sing that song really bad. The Qs, you're under it. See? Now you could start accumulating on the way down. You said the market's gonna crash. It did. How much you lose there, Brian? I haven't used Brian in a while. Down. Wow, that's painful, right? 34%, halfway there, living on a prayer. What else? We got the Dow Jones already under. There you go. Oop. Yep, you can start accumulating on the way down. I mean, the same goes for anything you want. This is your 200 weekly. Silver, okay, you want to accumulate? You got a little maybe double bottom, probably hit its head right there, get rejected. That's okay. These are just probabilities. Copper, same thing. Probabilities were dropping to $14. Apologies for that. If you're a copper trader, although I did tell you where it was going to go, that big yellow line, yes, that was a price target. We hit its price target perfectly. Gold, right there. We're probably going to get rejected on gold. Apologies. Just make sure you have the real stuff for the island, because we're not taking that fake stuff. Oh, I'm just checking Ethereum. Wow, you guys are bouncing on it too. But I think you're going to get rejected. And most of my accumulation on Ethereum was at hold on, I can't multitask. And someone asked me about this, and then I'm going to forget. 400. Got completely out at 4,200, just based on stupid stuff like this. Someone, because you're like, I own Ford. Okay, congratulations. I put this Head and Shoulders up a month ago, 2 months ago. I don't know what it was, because this is on the weekly. I said, oh, congratulations on bouncing. You see, it's all in the charts, you guys. Just follow the charts. But you have a Head and Shoulders. You break that right there. You could easily, which I'm going to guess you are, go down to these levels, down. Yikes. Just when you thought, you're like, this is cheap. Ford at $10. So how about Ford at 4? But that is not confirmation yet on Ford. Okay. You gotta confirm that break, get under that 200 and close. Oh, and just in case, if you're into Head and Shoulders, S&P 500, that one played out quite well. Also, I have 2 other blue lines up there. Well, I have 3 blue. I have 1, 2, 3. Okay. Maybe I have 4. I can't count very well. So you bounced on that 200. Hey, okay, that's probably not going to hold. Why is that? Well, let me turn on the candles, because this happens definitely in this one indice. Please do not say, oh, the kiss of death on this, and I saw the kiss of death on that. No, S&P 500. That's it. Went back before the Great Depression, and this cycle, now it could. There's a probability that it's not going to happen. It would be a one-off. Just like a couple days ago, I took a train ride up to Mount Washington at the top. It was beautiful. No clouds. We were actually above the few clouds that there were. And he said, you never see weather like this. He said, actually, this weekend, there's going to be a tornado, and it's going to be 100+ miles an hour. So basically, everything in trading is just probabilities. This was your all-time high. Step one. We fall, okay? And then we go higher, but not beating all-time highs. We get rejected. This is the line. If I put up the line, I don't want to put up the line, but the blue line was the line, and it kissed it, okay? And then it got rejected. Go back, look at the Great Depression, go back and look at my old videos or subscribe. I'll probably talk to you again. This blue line right there, if we close underneath that blue line, kiss of death is confirmed. Not just that, it is pixel perfect. Look, all the trades are underneath that. Confirmation. Back in the 08, 09, the last confirmation brought us down almost 58%. Probably wasn't as bad. Oh, it was. It was worse than the 50% kiss of death triggered in the year 2000, which wasn't as bad as the roaring 20s when you dropped almost, was that 84%? Almost, it was actually 90% if you look at the candles. And there was some time to wait. You kind of had to hold your position for almost 9,162 days until you could finally close your position. So if you have an extra 10,000 days, you don't mind just, being underwater, well, go ahead. Oh, also, I had mentioned at the beginning of the video about UK and what happens when we decide to not give people the collateral that they need to do things. UK will need to cut 200,000 jobs to avoid debt spiral. And the truth is, it might already be too late. The Fed already probably created, right? You don't know until later. You go back and you're like, well, can we take them out of the water? You just probably leave them in. You're not going to resuscitate. And then the driver's like, well, he looks okay. How long has he been underwater? Oh, a few months. Well, how many few months? Like 9? So I know for most people, you're just looking around the world going, it doesn't look that bad. I understand right now. Also, for those of you that find it weird, or whatever it is, that I make comedy, because it's like being on the Titanic. I know you're going to get out fine. You've subscribed, whatever, you've liked, I don't know, you've taken my courses. You're going to get out fine. You will have a life vest and a boat. I just say, why not have fun? Let's enjoy this. I will play the music while everyone goes into a debt spiral. I will do my best to go behind the scenes and try to figure out who's pulling the levers and how to make money from this. And then at the end of the day, I still have the same advice. And I feel like a broken record. Start a business. Oh, during a depression. It's always the same thing. I don't know. Trade it then. And then we can take all of our money and buy boats, and we can sail away out of the UK and find an island that's called America and repeat the same process. But I love you guys. Thank you for listening to my nonsense, and I will see you tomorrow.